Make sure your phones are off.
Put them in fucking airplane mode or something.
Yeah, I mean, what the hell?
Get me a drink of water.
Josh, it ain't rained at your house?
No, it's been raining, but it popped up a weather alert.
Oh, I was gonna say, dude, it's been pouring for like the last hour and a half here.
Yeah, it's been lightning here for a while.
Dude, it's been pretty bad.
How do you know you've been sleeping?
That's why he's been sleeping.
But then he's gonna say, "Oh yeah, it's been raining bad."
I could hear it.
How? If you're sleeping, obviously you ain't sleeping. Then if you can hear it,
he can hear it in his sleep.
Yeah, I'm a ninja.
I can feel it while it was raining.
I can feel it in my bones.
He can smell it from inside the house.
My old kneecaps felt the rain coming.
Oh.
All right, get all this shared. Boom, boom, boom.
Oh shit! Look at here.
What?
What are we looking at?
Shit, won't show
it. Yeah, take. It's what?
The Death Finder.
Oh, jeez.
Get to the boat ramp. He doesn't have Death Finder.
He left it at the house?
Yeah.
Yeah, I put it out, but I forgot it.
All right, hold on. Almost done, boys. Almost done.
Yeah, I thought you said that like 10 minutes ago.
Probably.
All right.
Oh.
Make sure I got my notes.
I did find some screws for it, though. Did I tell you that?
You did not.
Yeah, I found some screws for it. You just got to make a bracket now. Well, I think I found a screw.
All right, get my notes going. What up, Derek?
Oh, we got people in the chat.
Oh, I don't see none.
There we go. What's up, Derek?
Oh, hold on. Boom. There it is, boys.
Hey.
Oh, I had to go to I was on the dang private chat.
All right, boys, y'all ready? We'll do a countdown.
Yep.
All righty.
If you can find the right button.
Hey, calm down.
Alrighty.
We got everybody?
We got a party in here.
Welcome back, guys. Let's Go Crawl Podcast, episode 51. If I miscounted, I'm sorry. We got some bullshit to go through, and we have a Shane Butler
Demonetized already.
Here in a little bit.
Dude, we didn't even make it a minute into the show and already demonetized.
Oh well.
I'm sorry, guys. Josh, I know you got a lot of notes. First thing, let's just kick it off with the SSI bullshit.
Yeah, kind of reminds me of the old, was it Days of Thunder? You don't just lose your ride, but he did. They kicked out one of the best drivers in a dirt late model right now and sent RTJ out the door, which is insane to me. Dude's on the top of his game, winning almost everything right now.
Basically over 50 victories. He's winning everything. Oh, she said that's not your house, Amish.
This is my I upgraded. I done went from the tent to the penthouse.
It's crazy, man. I really didn't see that happening. Especially since someone else slid right in there within the next 10 minutes, basically, without them announcing it.
Yeah, I don't think anybody.
Why would you get rid of one of the best right now, number one on the world right now, super late model driver? Why? What is the reason? Is it
Yeah,
money?
I mean, it had to have been something major. There must have been a fight or some kind of disagreement. You don't just get rid of RTJ. Now, granted, I've also heard that he's not exactly the best personality to have around. So maybe he clashed with somebody and they finally got tired of it. Who knows? But I don't know how you could get tired of winning.
Did it come personal and it ruined the business, you think?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they just got tired of him. I don't know, or it may have just been a thing to get Hudson in the car. You know, maybe it
Now,
had nothing to do with RTJ because I also heard that they were going to try to make a two-car operation with Hudson and RTJ, and Thornton didn't want to be teammates with him, is what I heard. Now, is that true? I have no idea, but that's another thing I keep hearing.
um, all reality, my thought process, I think he wanted more money. I mean, clearly the man deserves more money than me.
Oh yeah,
Um, and he really didn't want to share his notes, man. It's kind of hard to share. Oh, I'm gonna have this young guy come in. I'm just gonna share my notes. That's not how shit works.
right.
Um, a lot of people say, oh, he didn't want a teammate. Okay. Then they're like, oh, well, he went over to Kohler Motorsports and got
Now he's got a teammate.
now he's got a teammate. But I think there's a big catch because if you notice, Kohler's just not super late models. They also have a crate program.
Yeah, I heard they actually turned their crate car into a super just for Ricky Thornton and actually kicked their crate driver out, and he's no longer on the tour.
But I think it was there to help the crate side. You get what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
hey, I'm gonna pay you, but then you're also gonna share your notes and help my crate side.
right.
Here's honest truth. No one's gonna know, and no one's really gonna know. We're just gonna hear lies and BS.
Pretty much. The only person that really knows is the guy that owns SSI. Maybe Ricky don't even know for sure what happened, but all he knows is he was out of one ride and got in another.
Um, it's awesome about the racing community. Dude, he said within 15 minutes he had people call him for a ride.
So we got a question down there, Mr. Barstow. I mean,
I don't think it was a question.
there's a question mark, bud.
Yeah, there's a question mark. I don't
I
think
think he's better than Huddy? Question mark.
I
I
don't
don't
think
think
so.
so. You answered your own question.
So I think he's trying to ask if we think he's better than Hudson. I think he's better than Hudson right now. Maybe not overall, but I think right now at this time, RTJ's at the top of his game. I don't think there's anybody really better than him week to week. I mean, we've even seen him going toe to toe with Davenport, someone that we've considered to be the greatest late model driver of the current generation.
now I said like a couple of last episodes back, I was tired of seeing RTJ win. But
Exactly.
you never want a guy to lose his ride, right?
Right.
Um, it's I think it's kind of bullshit that Flow Racing talks about, oh, how good Huddy's doing. Well, what about RTJ that started like 18th and made his way to the top five?
Yeah.
Not even
Actually, it was
ninth.
Hudson. Hudson wasn't even in that race, right? They hadn't had a replacement driver by that time.
Right. But my point is, it's like, what about the guy that started way back there and moved his way up to the top
They
five?
ain't, they
Guys,
ain't looking at that guy.
it's I don't know, guys. It's just
Like I
something's
said,
fishy. I
it's
think the
all
whole
it's mind
and
blowing.
and why would you leave Rocket One? Why would you leave the best super late model team there is?
Well, I don't know for sure that that was his saying. I thought I heard that he was the one being thrown out, but who knows? I don't know for sure. Uh, are we having a little connection problem here?
I
No.
think we're
All
fine.
right, because
Oh,
what was that?
dog making too much noise. He wanted to come doing the show.
Oh boy, good old Zeus.
So,
But we did see RTJ in a midget last night. Was it Johnson County with the USAC midgets?
and
Um,
back to RTJ though. Here, he built a life, moving his kids, everything, moved his micro team, and you're not really gonna put no information out there to the world why RTJ lost his damn ride when he's won everything under the sun.
Right. And you see a lot more secrecy these days. I feel like, it wasn't long ago if someone lost the ride, everybody knew why, and now it's kind of nobody wants to tell anybody why they decided to split part ways with somebody.
Well, there really is no real reason.
So to answer this question, Billy, Huddy won it. Huddy won Lucas.
Zeus, can you go lay
Yeah.
down?
Which, if it wasn't for their championship format that they have, it would have probably been RTJ. But that's neither here nor there. Hudson was the champion.
Guys, if you have comments, man, you want to say about this stuff, just comment down. We'll get to it.
Yeah.
What?
And I mean, I'm not trying to say that Hudson's not a good race car driver. He is a great race car driver. I just think RTJ is better right now.
I don't know, man. It's crazy. I think it gave these guys that race for a freaking living a wake up call that your owner can just wake up one day and go, you know what? I'm kind of tired of
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, it don't matter how many races you've won. It could be
It don't
gone in
matter.
an instant.
It don't matter how much money you make for the guy.
Oh yeah, and RTJ's made him a lot of money.
I'm not saying we all make money racing, but come on, man. There's probably what a 70-30 split.
Yeah, yeah. There ain't no making money in racing unless you're at that high of a level.
And we all knew. Listen, RTJ can find a ride anywhere.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You just gotta watch out for those guys on 4-wheelers. They brutal.
Here we go again. Good thing you got rid of that one.
So before we get off this topic, you guys got anything else on this late model world?
I think that's it on that.
Yeah, that's it.
I mean,
I
not to
ain't
leave
really been following it.
I mean, on the late model topic, did y'all see the late model trying to exit the racing surface?
Oh, the one when there were sprint cars out there?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, what an idiot.
Yeah, I've seen that shit.
And did y'all see the guy riding on his door?
No, I didn't see that there was a guy on his door.
Yeah, there was a guy on the door of the late model when they crossed the track.
What about the guy that owns a 4-wheeler and is going to cross the racetrack when
He
a
got hit by
car?
a pure stock, got sent 30 feet in the air.
Yeah, what are you thinking?
I mean, I don't know about that one.
Yeah.
Because if you look, the car turned right towards him.
Yeah, well, and to get back
what
to
are you
the
looking
first
down
one,
at the ground driving?
well, and to get back to the late model, do we not have somebody at the gate, the crossover gate, like telling people to come and go, or is everybody just kind of guessing?
That happens after you have an incident happen. Then you get better security.
Because I don't even think at North Florida there's anybody there after you hit tech. You just kind of find a spot to exit the racetrack, right?
They're there.
Every once in a while, there is somebody out there.
But there is sometimes that I'm tempted just to gas it up when they're on yellow by myself.
Oh boy, yeah. So there's no reason why that guy should have been crossing at that time, and I don't know if there was a communication error or if the guy just decided I'm going to try it and it didn't work.
Hey, what about the Hoosier tire blown up on somebody?
Yeah, that's a pretty
we
big fear of mine.
Do we think it's a rim failure? Because the tire was there, dude.
Oh, based on what someone said, I mean, if he had 125 psi on the tire, then that was his own fault.
That's your answer right there.
I mean, I don't know about all tires, but I know on the H500s, they have printed right on the sidewall, do not exceed 40 when trying to set the bead.
Exactly. And it does not take that much to beat a tire unless you have a bent rim.
No, I mean, you've seen me beat tires with like 5 psi.
Yeah, it's crazy. With no lubrication or anything.
Take it easy, bud.
Hey, Brandon's like, you gonna spray that? I'm like, nah, watch this. Pop. Oh, okay.
What about this? Let's just jump into the Haley Diggin stuff real quick.
Yeah, not a big surprise to see that she lost her ride. But what I think is more of a surprise is the fact that the two people that they've had replace her have still been kind of mid-pack, starting to look like maybe it was the car.
I'm starting to get really tired of the clowns in the comment section going, "Oh, well, get off the social media." And da. Listen, that's how she makes more money than all of us.
Oh yeah, she makes
Is
more money.
social media.
Oh yeah, she'll make
Listen,
more money off a YouTube video than we will in a month of working.
we're not stuck in 1990 where the drivers worked on their own shit. That's not
Yeah,
how it works anymore.
yeah,
You show up with your damn helmet bag and you go racing.
yeah, and a lot of drivers don't
Hey,
even
I
know
did
how
that
to
a
work on
couple
their
of
own stuff.
times back in my prime.
I mean, you can. I mean, Kyle Larson will tell you. I can tell you what I need, but I can't tell you what bars and moves or put wedge in, take wedge out.
Right, and that's the one area where I respect Kyle Busch on is he can tell you what to change on the car to make it better. If he wants
Dude,
spring adjustment or something, Kyle Busch.
change his
He-
pit crew. That's what he needs to change.
Here we go. He's not having a good year either.
Let's see.
So,
Where's he at today?
what else you got before we jump into our guest?
Let's see. I feel like what did I send y'all earlier?
Ryan Blandley, Ron, however you say his last name.
Blaney. Yeah, from a sprint car family. So
Kyle
we
Busch did not finish. Looks like you need a new pit crew.
had a little bit of troubling news coming from Showtime today. Apparently, last night there was a Crown Vic driver that got taken by ambulance. Dad says LaJoy crashed Kyle Busch.
Good for him. Let me give him $20.
Freaking LaJoy.
Yeah, that's another one that his teammates making him look bad because that 71's way faster than he is right now. But yeah, so thoughts and prayers out to the driver of that Crown Vic.
What like happened? I couldn't find nothing on that. I just
Yeah,
saw people talking about
there
it.
is no information.
There's no videos or anything.
No, I haven't seen anything. I mean, I've seen someone that said that was her dad, that he's stable, but that's it. I don't know what happened. Usually, you see at least a couple people, saying that there was a pretty nasty wreck or something, but I have no idea what happened here.
My boys ready to jump into this guest or what?
Yeah, let's get to
Dude,
it.
we're talking here.
Hold on, got Adam.
There
Oh,
he is.
there he
Hey.
is.
Dude, what's that guy doing in the background? Is he actually working on that thing?
He's working.
Holy smokes. I thought you did all the work for him.
He's got a worker. He don't play.
Oh, that smart man.
There we go.
Well, guys, our special guest, as y'all would know, is Shane Butler. Josh, you came up with a tricky name for him.
Yeah. And I don't know if Shane, you might remember the story of where that might have come from at Citrus.
Yeah, oh yeah. I'm pretty sure.
So yeah, for those that don't know the story, back in I forget what year it was, but we took the
1986.
slingshots. No, we took the slingshots to old Citrus County, and before the race, and we had Shane was filling in for my brother because it would have been my brother's first time racing a slingshot, and Citrus is not the place to start your racing career in that series. And well,
I mean, it could be.
no, no, I think Shane, you told us that those cars were not meant to go that fast.
Yeah, I don't think so.
So he before the race, Shane told all the other guys, "Hey, watch the rumble strips. They're pretty nasty, and these suspensions probably aren't going to take it." And the first and only person to hit the rumble strip was old Shane Butler.
Ding, 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 ding.
So, tore the left front off my brother's car, hit the wall, and if he hadn't done that, he probably would have made us all look stupid because he was hauling the mail for sure.
Yeah, that was definitely a little too fast for those cars.
So, Shane, we're going to rumble through some questions. You give us some answers. Josh, you go ahead and do first. I don't care. First 20, whatever.
First 20.
Or just do them all. It'll be all right.
Do them all.
Yeah. Oh, Lordy. So, let's see. Got to find my first one. So, obviously, Shane Butler, we're going to ask, where are you from? We call you the Bushnell Bullet, so I'm guessing you're from Bushnell, Florida.
I'll always be from Bushnell, Florida, even though I am now residing in Galveston, Indiana.
He's up there because he's rich.
Yeah. I heard it too.
So what was ultimately the deciding factor on moving to Indiana?
Well, I mean, obviously racing, right?
Right.
I'm not
Was
done.
it the 500 in general or other race?
I mean, that was a big part of it, but I mean, just racing in general, and trying to progress Landon's career, because he wants to do this, and this is, if he wants to go sprint car racing, this is where you need to be.
Mhm.
So, I've always talked about wanting to move up here, and my wife always blew it off. And a couple years ago, we come up with the idea, and she's like, "Okay, we'll make this happen." And here we are. What, almost 2 years later now.
And Landon just picked up his first win, right?
He did. There's a group up here, American Sprint Car Tour. They're basically full blown sprint cars. The only rule is it has to be a steel block.
Okay.
Whatever you can put in the frame rails is legal, as long as it's got a steel block. No cockpit adjustable shocks. No traction control. But everything else is pretty much, they open tire, Hoosier, American Racer, whatever. So it's a pretty good little series. They had 12 cars down at Southern Indiana I-65 Speedway, and he we took him with his 305, and it was perfect. The track was slick, and he drove 25 great laps. And really, made him look bad a little bit. Only being his sprint car race. So, but no, he did really good, and looking forward to whatever else the future holds for him.
Heck yeah. And his first laps in a sprint car, were they at Marion County?
They were. Yep. We took him probably 3 or 4 times. Matter of fact, last week I had a 4-year memory of his first time at the Bull Ring. So it's been 4 years since he first got in a car, and then obviously, with the move and everything, it was a couple years between the last time we took him down there, before we got up here. We also took him to Hendry County one night. They had a Friday night practice before our Saturday night race with Top Gun, and he got to make some laps there. And last week we took him to Anderson Speedway and got his first asphalt laps in a non-wing sprint car at Anderson. So we're going to do some more testing with him on the asphalt, and this weekend we're going to take him up to Michigan. There's a wing pavement deal that's guys putting a deal together with 10-inch rear tires. So it'll be basically 10-inch wheels is the max width on both rear wheels. They're using a asphalt late model right rear. The left rears, some tracks they're using the late model left rear also, and in others they're using our sprint car right fronts just to get the stagger.
Wow.
But guys have tested. Jason Blonde's tested with it, and they're really impressed of how they turned out. And obviously tires are cheaper, so it looks like it could be a good deal.
That's got to be a handful as a driver.
They said it really. He was surprised. So Jason Blonde tested it at Owasso Speedway with his 410 must see car with American Racers, and then jumped in another guy's car with the 10-inch tires, and I think he was not even a full half a second slower on the 10-inch tires. He was really impressed on how much grip it had.
That's incredible. Actually, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool. So we're gonna go try that Saturday night and see what it's all about.
All right. So we got. How long have you been racing?
Oh shit!
Keep going back. Keep going.
Well,
at least a couple of years, right?
If you want to go back to go-kart days, I started in, I think, 85 was the first time I raced a go-kart at Seffner Speedway, where the Cracker Barrel's at in Seffner.
Okay.
So that kind of tells you how old I am. It was pretty bad last night when we were at Anderson last night for a 500 tour race, and we made the redraw with the top 6 redraw, and I was the oldest guy there with Santos and Swanson and Don. I mean, I've been around a while, I guess.
Oh man. So I think we all know the answer to this, but what got you started in racing?
My dad, obviously, which is a lot of case for most people, but his his grandfather, got him into it, and it kind of skipped a generation with my grandfather. So dad, obviously he's been around for a gazillion years, so that's where it's all from. It's all his fault.
Oh man. And so you run car number 18. Tell us why.
So 18. So that come about, I guess about 96, 96, I think. Keith was driving for a guy named Bobby Revels down in Waimama, and his daughter Stacy was turning 18 that year, and they put 18 on the car. Bobby did, and so so the asphalt car that I was going to start running in 97 when I turned 16 in August 97. So that was the first time I raced, and the asphalt car had an 18 on it because my dad drove it a couple times to keep up the points, because TBRA in those days had an overall championship between pavement and dirt. So the pavement car had 18 on it, and I've stuck with the 18 ever since.
All right.
Hell yeah.
So I think there might be a couple of these, but tell us about a time that you were the most upset at the racetrack.
I don't know. I don't know. I could pick one most.
Don't lie, because I talked to Keith, and there's at least one good time.
Well, be the most he's ever been upset. but no, it's I'm passionate what I do. I have crashed a lot, and I've taken people with me, not on purpose by any means, but I I'm trying to win, and obviously a lot of them were big mistakes, but and as far as me being mad at somebody else, like I said, I'm very passionate about what I do. I spend a lot of time, a lot of my own money that I don't have a lot of times.
Well, I mean, you only got 25 laps, and half those guys, they feel like they're just putzing around, not doing too much.
Yeah. So it's I'm very, like I said, I'm very passionate what I do, and I take it sometimes more serious than I should, and should probably let more things go than I have. But it's all part of it. I feel like if you're not passionate about it, you don't need to be doing it.
How is it racing with your brother when y'all do race together?
It can be good and bad, obviously, as we all know. It's I feel like we race each other sometimes harder than we race other people. And it goes for him and I both. I've raced him harder, and he's raced me harder. But then again, there's nights where, if one of us knows we don't have a car to go forward and they get to us, we're gonna let them go,
Right.
and race them too hard. So like I said, it's good and bad, it obviously, because a lot of the same bloodlines. So it makes it tough sometimes.
But they put
So
on a good show, though. I'll tell you that, though.
yeah.
They both do put on a great show. When they're both up in the front, they're putting on a show.
Zach,
So-
have you had to be like a referee between the two of them before?
I mean, not
Or
between
are
the
you
two
just-
brothers. It's more the wife, Jen, down there. You gotta watch out for her. Yeah, that's the only one you gotta watch out for out of the whole bunch. And Stan, he'd get a little rowdy every once in a while, though. I've had to stop him and kind of direct him back to his little cart there and keep him calm. But other than that, they ain't too rowdy.
So basically, the question is, say y'all are running 1 and 2, little 500. You have one shot, 2 corners left. Are you taking it?
Oh man, I am probably gonna, if there's a small hole, I'm probably gonna go for it. If it's a smaller hole by the time I get there,
Yeah.
probably.
That's a great answer.
And would expect nothing less from the other side.
All right. Go ahead, Josh.
All right. So what's your favorite memory from racing?
Favorite memory? Well, up until a couple weeks ago, I would have to say it would be winning at Winchester Speedway. That's always been a pretty historic place, and seen a lot of good and bad things go on there. So I would have to say the win there in '07 was pretty special. But man, there's something about seeing your kid win a race. It's just nothing else like it. So that was going to rank up there pretty close.
How fast do y'all go at Winchester? That's a fast racetrack, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very fast. Yeah, I don't know actual speeds, but like at Bristol, they were I think they were, which I would say pretty close to Winchester speed wise. They were I think averaging 132 mile an hour. That was just an average number. So you can imagine what.
Oh man, yeah, that's absolutely cooking right there. See, we got a little comment here from Ricky. Glad to see he's all right. I don't know if y'all heard he had a little bit of a wreck up there at Southern, and don't think he's gonna be racing with us anytime soon. But he's all right.
So, Shane, what is your dream class and dream racetrack?
I mean, this is for me. This is sprint cars are it. I'm obviously probably too old to go anywhere professionally, and too old and too fat to be anything other than what I am right now. But I mean, I always said even as a kid growing up, if I could, be a USAC sprint car star or a World of Outlaws guy, I would have been completely happy. But unfortunately, the way life goes, it didn't. Had I moved up here when I was, say, Landon's age, you never know what could have been, or where things might have went. It might have been completely the wrong way. It's so hard to tell. We were, back in '08 when we found out we were having Landon. My wife and I had actually put in our notices at our job. We were moving to Ohio in '08 to pursue some racing. And then life happened, and we found out she was pregnant with Landon, and here we are 15 years later, almost 16 years later.
So here's the thing I say to a lot of guys. You don't know who's watching. You don't know who's at the racetrack.
Absolutely.
You can't be crying and going fight people at the racetrack. Listen, if you have a bad race, take it to the trailer.
Yep.
Because one day you might have a bad day, and this guy might come up and say, "Hey, man, I want to buy you a brand new motor."
You hit the nail on the head. That's what I try to tell Landon every day. I have not been the perfect person. Obviously, the things that I've done and been through and whatnot. I haven't done things the right way, and that's what my dad and I are trying to teach Landon. Is to I know you're going to be frustrated. I know that but try to be as calm as possible. You like you said, you never know who's watching. And like you just never know. Anything's possible. There's always people watching. There's always little ears watching. So yeah, just definitely watch what you do and try to present yourself the best way possible.
Definitely, man. And here comes where social media is, man. These sponsors, they want to be thanked. They don't care that you just share a picture of them. Share them. I try to tell these young guys when they're getting racing, listen, I don't care if you're in a super late model. Don't act like a jackass. Because you're going to lose a lot of fans and you're going to lose a lot of sponsors.
Yep, that's exactly right. The last 2 years I've worked for Michael Dutcher Motorsports with the 17 GP USAC car, and we have a pretty high profile sponsor, and that has taught me a lot to keep my mouth shut when I feel like something's not right. Whether somebody did us wrong or bad call or whatever. I've learned a lot the last 2 years to kind of somewhat keep my mouth shut and not go on social media and try to blast somebody, and so that's actually helped me quite a bit. I wish that would have happened a long time ago.
Yeah, and there's a lot of times you just want to go there and pull someone out of their car. And listen, back in the day, like when you first started, you could do that.
Yeah,
Now, oh, he touched me, I'm going to sue you. Come on, man.
exactly. There, and that's the bad thing is when you get in a position like that, you want to go there and rip his head off, or they're like, well, it's not his car, don't tear his car up. Well, yeah, I realize that it's not his car, but I can't go over there and smack him because I'm going to be cuffed up and hauled away. So it is a tough time right now to be in. Back in the day, you could settle differences outside the race car, and be a whole lot different outcome.
So Shane, who's your favorite driver / hero?
It's my dad. I mean, that's always been the guy I've looked up to, and sometimes done too many things like he's done and maybe got me in trouble. But no, I mean, he's kind of the guy. I mean, outside of him, probably David Steele or Steve Kinzer or somebody like that. So yeah.
One thing I had to realize, a lot of people had to realize is, listen, we know your dad gets on your nerves. We know it's hard racing with your dad. Um, but after he's not there at the racetrack, it sucks. Um, so
Yeah.
anytime you're there at the shop and your dad's there and he gives you like a little hint, you write that shit down because it's going to help you in the long run.
Yep. For sure. I've learned with things that have gone on in other people's lives, appreciate every day, especially with a dad, with a son. The three of us are always out here working together. You learn to appreciate days like that. Even though we get on each other's nerves from time to time, because you never know when it's not going to happen.
So, is there any rules in a sprint car, USAC, whatever, that you would like to change?
Um,
Or are y'all pretty much wide open?
I mean, for the most part, I honestly believe with seeing and being around some of the races that I've been the last few years, I wish there was a little more tech on certain things. For one, they're doing a lot of safety stuff, but like we had an instance last night. I'm not blaming the guys that had the problem or anything, but a stuck throttle, maybe take hoods off cars, and just make sure. But most of the guys, and usually it's just a fluke thing. But as far as major rules, I wish there was more rules, or not necessarily a rule because it isn't a rule, but I wish there was more tech enforcing things like traction control. Mainly that's tires and anything at this point, because they last that night anyway and they're gone. So just do whatever.
Well, my question is, I've looked that stuff up. How do these guys afford traction control?
Well, we've talked about it on that exact question. How do they afford it? Okay. Well, I'm gonna break it down for you. You figure on average $4,500 to $8,000, depending on what it is. Which unit or whatever. Let's just put that. Well, you go and win a $20,000 show. Well, guess what? You've paid for it the first night out. Or if you're a local racer and it pays $1,000 to win. Well, hell, I just went and won 10 races this year. Well, I took care of that. Outside of your normal tire bill, fuel bill, stuff like that. But if the people in the higher ups, white shirt guys, so to speak, if they would do more of their job and maybe police it a little more, it's because being at a racetrack and hearing somebody that the motor doesn't sound like everybody else's and they go top of the board, it just makes you kind of.
Every time I hear a crate late model that sounds like a super, ask that question.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of that, because I know from what I've heard, being at a racetrack, listening to a car qualify, I know these guys' foots aren't that bad on the throttle, on and off the throttle like that. So something's making it do that.
Right. I know Zach has certain feelings about traction control. He has a certain person that he always says when he comes out racing, he has it. Not gonna throw his name out there.
That was back in the day. I don't say it anymore. They don't seem to come around that anymore.
And here's a couple things too, man. The traction control really be a disadvantage too.
It can. I will agree with that. It can, if you're not just going to put it on one night and go win with it. I will tell you that, and I'll be completely honest with you. Our team ended up with one through a buyout a couple years back, and we tried it at the Little 500 because at the time there was no written rule on traction control. So we tried. Didn't try it all week in practice or anything. We put it on for qualifying, and it screwed me up so bad that we qualified worse than if we'd have been without it. So it is something that you can't just put on and go race. You have to get it tuned in just like anything else, and you have to figure it out and figure out how to drive, a certain way.
And it all depends how much money you want to spend, because you want to spend $5,000, you can put it behind the tack, under the MSD box. But if you spend a little bit more money, you can get a thing that looks like a little SD card. You put it right, you plug it right in the SD box. Or they also, what Crate Racing USA does, if someone complains about maybe they have traction control, they take your whole MSD box, they put it in the back of the van, and it gets sent off to MSD. Because now these days they can change, I don't know, the motherboards to look like it's original when it's not. So they put a test on it and put it on load on a machine, and I think that's the best thing ever. Yo, if you think I'm cheating, here, pay it up, send my stuff off, and when I'm right, get my damn money back in my MSD box.
Exactly. And if I was a guy that was winning big races and all this, and I knew I didn't have it, I'd tell the guy complaining, come find it. You
Right.
yourself and come find it. So if you're not doing it, well, come look at my shit. I ain't worried about it. Because obviously I did something in the shop right and you didn't.
Right.
You finally listen to the right setup.
Right.
Like the biggest thing the last 5 years, guys, we all agree on this. Everybody's worried about tire dose.
Oh yeah.
How about let's check safety? We've had a lot of accidents. We have people that don't even have real SFI labels. I was one of them. Didn't know it. Guys, we seatbelts, bolts and a shock. I mean, I don't know about y'all, but I change a bolt and a shock at least once a year, because I've seen people have problems that they don't change a shock bolt. Y'all don't realize how much work that bolt does,
Mhm.
and it just breaks.
Yep.
I just feel like they need to focus on, like they did back in the day. Listen, let's take motors apart, let's check heads, let's P&G. Forget all that BS. Listen, either you're gonna do it or you don't, and it's gonna hurt you or it won't. But I'm telling you right now, you go to these big races, your ass is gonna be in the back.
Yeah, the tire deal is a whole nother subject in my terms. Obviously we know the labs and whatever.
Yeah.
I've prepped tires, absolutely. I got thrown out, a few years ago, which a lot of people know. And believe me or not, if I did it that night, I would sit right here and tell you that I did. But I got thrown out for something I didn't do, for whatever reason, whether I was headhunted, whether my shit got switched, whether the lab shady, whatever. I don't feel like there's a proper way to police it.
I can tell you the lab's not 100% accurate.
Whatever you use to wash your car, tell you.
Yeah,
You use that
apparently it's simple green that
that
you
simple
wash your tires
green.
with.
Yeah, that's no good.
It's just like the sniffer. Okay, they threw out like 20 cars at East Bay Winter Nationals back in the day. Uh, and for a fact, I know Dave and Poland went and bought a new tire, bolted on, and they threw them out with a sniffer.
Yeah.
Listen, I can pee on that tire; it'll go off.
Right.
Um, Josh, go ahead and continue, man, with these questions.
All right. So if we all owned a racetrack together, what kind of job would you like to do at the racetrack? Would you like to be like a flagman, sell some T-shirts? What would you like to do?
Probably either a flagman or an announcer.
Okay.
Okay.
And I got the experience a couple years ago at Anderson. We were up for I think Indiana Sprint Week. Me, Dad, Landon, and my mom were up here for Sprint Week and got the opportunity to go up in the booth and do a deal for I think it was MAP TV. They had at the time. So it was a different experience, but it was a cool experience. And as a kid, I always used to announce my Matchbox races. So that was pretty
Heck yeah.
and in the day we were as kids running around the old Lakeland Interstate Speedway there. There was a kid that had a set of flags and we used to race around on feet and flag different races and stuff. So yeah, I'd have to say either one of those.
Okay. Heck yeah. So tell us about the time you was the most nervous behind the wheel.
The most nervous behind the wheel.
And where does when you realized how fast we were going at Citrus rank up there?
That was pretty nerve wracking, but I feel like I was probably nervous at Bristol when we ran there with the sprint car. But I don't know. Anytime starting on the pole, I usually get myself pretty worked up.
Yeah, I'm there with you. I hate starting on the pole.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly. No, that's what I was telling them last night. We started on the pole last night, and I was like, man, I don't like starting up here. I mean, I do, but I don't. You get yourself all worked up. Like, why? As soon as you hit the switch, it's all going to go away.
And with that question, do you have like a routine when you're getting ready to race? Do you put your left shoe on before your right shoe, your left glove, or you put what is your routine, or you just put your shit on and go?
I think I usually put on my right because I'm right-handed. I think I put my right shoe on first. My right glove goes on first. So yeah, I have a routine and I kind of go to that not on purpose. I think it's just repetitive, doing it all the time, it's just something you do.
So I have caught myself being in staging, and I'll put my right glove on first, and I'll take it right back off, put my left on, then my right. I don't know why. It's just it's a weird thing I got.
Yep.
So how nervous do you get watching Landon race?
That probably ranks up there. Pretty nerve wracking. Luckily when he won that race, last week or week before, whenever it was, luckily I was in a car, the same night, so it wasn't as bad. But I will tell you, it's not good because I could see him on the other side of the racetrack, probably going to end up lapping me. So I had to pull in. So for one, so he didn't lap me, and for two, so I could watch him win.
Oh, dude, because he would have had the shit talking for the week if he lapped you.
Really, he loves to talk shit too.
I'm surprised he ain't stepped in.
He grew up around LJ Grimm, so he knows how to talk.
LJ is pretty good at that. Oh, alrighty. So, well, we covered this one already. We got Landon's first sprint car win. So how about what were the Silver Crown cars like?
They were a lot of fun. I'd really like to do more of it. I only got to race twice. We ran it at Phoenix when we first got the car together. We took it out to Phoenix, and then I ran it at Salem. So I mean, both places are two of the most wildest racetracks you could ever run on. But no, they were pretty cool cars to run. Just so they were kind of laid back and lazy feeling, because of the wheelbase and so much weight behind you with the fuel. So they're a lot of fun. I'd really like to do some more of that if it ever come up.
And those
Do they
run
have-
like a Burt style transmission, right?
Most of them are going to the Burt style. They're actually making like a smaller Burt style transmission for those cars now. They used to back in the day. Excuse me. There were some that would put they would have a shaft off the front of the crankshaft where they run a shaft through the front of it and have a little airplane type starter for it to start it. And then they'd have just I think they were like a 2 or 3 disc, about a 6 or 8 inch clutch right behind on the firewall, that you just pull the handle and they'd start pushing, you let go and take off. But then some, before that they were actually starters inside the car right next to the gas pedal. The car that we put together with Troy Thompson, it had an onboard starter right inside the car.
Okay.
Awesome.
So was it you had to get used to that, firing up your own little sprint car and taking off?
Well, I mean, it's really no different than anything else. I mean, there's no batteries on board, so they still had to plug it in, So it wasn't too bad. It was just getting used to, especially at a place like Phoenix, that you have such a tall gear in it, because the track's so big. It's just trying to let out on the clutch and keep the thing running, because you don't have a second gear or anything else. You just you have the one gear once you get rolling. So that might have been the hardest thing to do, trying to figure out the throttle and not get stupid with it.
All right. So around here in Florida, I like to say overall between the non-wing asphalt, the non-wing dirt, wing asphalt, wing dirt, I feel like you're one of, if not the best overall that can do all four. Who's your opinion on that here in Florida?
That can do that?
Gene
Yes.
Lasker.
Oh man, he ran 2 laps last night at Showtime, according to Race Monitor.
He has not had a great time coming back, I feel like.
No, not the best. Not the best. Man, I don't know. I mean, Tyler Clem could probably do it. Yes. But he doesn't like non-wing dirt cars. Busted his ass one too many times. But he could probably do it. I know he doesn't run sprint cars all the time, but I feel like LJ could do it.
Yeah.
He could get in anything. It doesn't matter what it is.
God, don't tell LJ that, bro. His head will be so big you can't even get his helmet on for the next 2 weeks.
He has been pretty
It stays
successful
like that.
on the
Come
asphalt.
on now.
Oh. Yeah. He just needs some more laps on dirt, but he was good in a sprint car on asphalt for sure.
One other guy that I'm pretty sure could do it, and he's done all 4. It would be a Danny Martin Jr.
Yep.
Danny's good at what he can be good at whatever he's been in. He's he didn't have a lot of time in a like a non-wing asphalt car. He did run a few races with Max Steel, and I think he might have ran once or twice with his own car. But he's probably one that could get it done.
Brandon had to find out his helmets don't fit anymore. Yeah. Brandon does have a pretty big head.
Dude, I wear a 7 1/4 helmet. That's pretty small.
Oh man. So who would you say individually would be one of the best? I mean, obviously Dave Steele on asphalt, probably no contest there. But what's your opinion on?
As far as one of the best is doing what?
At like a single discipline.
Yeah, I mean he would be hands down the single asphalt guy. Man, I don't know.
Damn it, Josh.
That was a tough one. I don't know. I mean, like there again. I mean, I guess if you split it up in different disciplines, I mean, Danny Martin would be like pretty top of the list with a wing car in Florida, a wing car on dirt, in Florida. Um,
What
yeah,
about AJ Maddox?
he can get it done. But I mean, I don't really have a problem with AJ. I that is what it is. But no, Top Gun, AJ can be the man. I feel like a little competition sometimes AJ gets himself screwed up a little bit, honestly. But he's a good race car driver. I'm not going to deny that he can wheel a race car for sure.
So I have a question for you. Why do a lot of cops buy a sprint car?
Uh,
I don't. But they do.
Listen, man, if you're getting lapped on like lap 3 at Volusia, you should sell your shit.
yeah, the sprint car's not a beginner class for a reason.
But on the other side of that, I had a customer a couple years ago, and he would get lapped on, I think, the warm up lap at East Bay. Super nice guy, an old man. He just wanted to go sprint car racing, and for me, it was great because I got to sell him a complete race car. I sold him the parts. When he tore the shit up, I sold him more parts. I mean, I don't want to be that way, but I guess if you got the money and you want to do it,
Yeah.
who's to stop you? I mean, obviously, if you're a hazard, which he became a pretty big hazard, and I think Zach knows exactly who I'm talking about. But
there's a lot of them out there.
I think I remember who you're talking about. I do remember one not being able to keep up under caution.
Since sold out, but his name was Rick, and super good guy, an old man. His wife died. He was just looking for that next rush, I feel like, and so I mean, yeah, you try to help them, as much as you can. You set the car up for them. You take them to test, and you can only do so much, But we tried.
It seems like those guys are always the nicest ones, and you find yourself wanting to help them.
So you don't want to just come out and say, "Look, dude, you need to get the hell out, sell this." Which I'm pretty sure Keith has done that before to somebody. He's told somebody, you sell out before you kill yourself, and Dad might have even told somebody that one time, and the guy actually did it. So there was one guy that put his car out of the ballpark at Hialeah a long time ago, and Dad told him he probably should sell out, and I think the guy did. I think he's raced since then.
Awesome.
All right. So what's it like up there in Indiana? I hear they say that you can race sprint cars like baseball games. They have them every night. How is it for real though?
It's pretty good. For us, like, for this past week, for instance, we went Wednesday night. We went with the 17 GP that I work for. We went and ran the outlaw race at Beaver Dam, Wisconsin. Come home, we took the dirt car to Paragon Speedway for myself to run. Turned right around the next day. Took the asphalt car to Anderson and ran it. So yeah, you can 2 to 3 nights a week for sure, mostly every week. There's most of the time Bloomington Speedway runs every Friday night. On Saturday nights you have 3 or 4 different options, depending on the week. Midget week we got to run, Landon ran 3 of the 5 or 6 nights, whatever it was. So yeah, it's like I said, that's why we came here. And we can damn near 2 nights every weekend, like same deal. Next weekend we're going to go 2 nights, next week. The following week, I don't know if we'll run any of Indiana Sprint Week. Don't know if either one of us are ready for that or the funds are there for it. So, but that starts, I think, the following week. So yeah, you can do a lot of racing up here. It used to be a lot more back in the day when Kokomo was every Sunday night. which we wish that was the case now, because we're only 12 minutes from Kokomo Speedway. So we wish that was the case, that they were still every Sunday, but they're down to 12 or 15 shows a year, so limits us there. We lost Gas City this year, which is 30 minutes away. They were a Friday night track, so hopefully maybe somebody will come through and do something with that. Maybe next year or something.
Mhm.
Awesome.
Here we had a couple quick comments there. Danny Jones did pick up the non-wing Ren up at North Florida, which I'd seen they had 602s. I'm kind of surprised we didn't go up there, Brandon.
Ah, I got like 3 more weeks off, man. I'm a little exhausted.
You went 3 weeks in a row, and now you can't do it no more.
Oh yeah, I couldn't do it no more.
Which also we seen, I believe the number 90 Street Stock has a new full-time driver. Unfortunately, Tim Gay's not back, but have y'all seen who's driving that car now?
No.
Old Tanner Cobb.
Oh, we're screwed. I mean, you're
Yeah.
screwed, not me.
Yeah, Josh is screwed.
Yeah, I'm sure he's gonna wreck me on
You might as
purpose.
well just leave that wrinkled up body you got on there still. Just leave it on there. Don't worry about fixing it.
Yeah, that might be a good idea for when I see Tanner. But, oh,
What else you got, Josh?
let's see. Oh, and then like a quick comment from my dad here that up north they do get an actual off season. So when does y'all season end and when does it start again?
So last year, I think we ran the Kokomo Clash, which was the end of October. I think is what that was, and then so end of October is usually about the end of it, and then it'll start back. A couple racetracks try to do special races in like the beginning of April, which since we've been up here the last 2 years, that can kind of go either way, as far as rain and cold.
It's raining right now.
So, but yeah, usually we're off between the end of October till April. But like as far as us, like this past year, we come back to Florida for a few races in February and stayed till the 1st of March and then come home, and really didn't have a ton of off season, but did have some.
So are there any plans for you to come back to Florida this year?
I would like to. It just once again just depends on funds. If we have the funds, it looks like between Auburndale, Showtime, and Citrus, looks like they're going to have some decent paying shows. Between Yoho doing his own deal, Southern Sprint Cars and Must See doing something at Auburndale, and then the Open Wheel Showdown doing something at Inverness. So those are probably paying enough to make it worthwhile, for bringing a pavement car. Always fun to go to Ocala with the dirt car, run with USAC. We finally made our first 2 shows this past February, so that was pretty cool. First USAC shows, so that was cool. So you never know where you're going to find us. I'd really like to find a ride for the last Don Ream race at East Bay. Hate to see that place go, even though I'm not there anymore. It's that's a place where we all grew up. So
And that's going to be a wing race this year, right?
Most of the guys down there chickened out on us and
ruined it for last year.
So what's your thoughts on it becoming a wing race now? Are you a fan of it, or you don't like it, or?
I'm disappointed just because I love non-wing racing. I've always been a wing racer, but I still love it. But there's just something about non-wing racing and that race. The 4 or 5 years before they made it a wing show, I think every race was a good race. Mm-hmm. I missed the first one. We didn't have a dirt car, then for the first one, but I mean, you can go back to the second one where me and AJ come across the line, next to each other, and I think the 2 or 3 after that I thought were all good races. It just towards the last one, the car count went down for, guys not wanting to run it, so kind of disappointed at that because they started a tradition and it kind of fell off and went a different direction.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people asked for it, and then when they got it, they didn't show up. And
but they show up in the stands.
Yeah, exactly. And
I didn't say it, but they show up in the stands and they go help.
That's what's really frustrating. They show up to watch. Well, why race car? I mean, it's who cares about what it is? It's to honor Don, that did so much for Florida sprint car racing.
Even if you make one lap and you put it in the infield because you want to protect your stuff, you still had a car count.
Exactly. Yep.
You can't tell me it ain't going to cost you that much to do a heat race and then park it one lap after you take the feature.
Exactly. Yeah. So that was kind of a bummer, because Don did so much for Florida racing, whether it was dirt or asphalt. He was always involved and always trying to help the racer out. When his TBRA days, he was, always finding product sponsors and money sponsors. There was always good point funds, always good banquets. So it sucks seeing the car count go like it did for that deal.
I'm trying to get your brother to do it, but we got to find a tech guy because then I can't be the tech guy.
Yeah.
But
I'll be it. I'll throw all y'all out.
Oh, well, that ain't right.
I can tell you from the stands, they were the best racing, especially seeing you, AJ, and Webster just right up there next to the fence, just driving in a lot deeper than most guys have the capability of doing. It was incredible to watch.
Yeah, no, it was a lot of fun. That was one I always look forward to.
Zach, what you all right over there?
He had to get his toy. It makes a lot of noise. It's one of them damn pigs. They'd be squeaking.
I thought maybe play that piano back there.
Oh yeah, my piano. Oh wait, it's over here. I forgot where I put it. I just bought the house 2 episodes ago. 2 episodes ago, I just bought the house.
Oh.
So Shane, could you beat your dad in his prime?
Oh man, you guys with the tough questions tonight. I don't know. I can tell you it'd be a hell of a race. It would probably be one hell of a race because that's growing up. He was always working on my cars. When I started sprint car racing, so the cars got set up the way he drove them. So I drove them a lot like he did. So it would probably be a hell of a race. We might end up with 2 tore up race cars, but it'd be a hell of a race.
So if we was to get you, your dad, and your brother all on the racetrack at the same time, how would that go?
Not good.
I think I've seen it one time. And it was not good.
No, in all seriousness, though, I always said, after Landon was born, and started racing go-karts and stuff, I always wanted the 4 of us somehow to be able to be in the same race together. Don't know if that will ever happen, but I always thought that would be really cool. And as far as us, as the Butlers, the little 500, we finally got to the 3 of us start a little 500, 07 or 08. I don't remember what year it was. So the first father and 2 sons to start the race. I think it'd be cool to either 2 brothers and a son nephew start the race. That would be cool for me. I don't know if Dad would ever be able to start another little 500, but that would be cool. 3 generations.
He might got 25 laps.
Yeah. So, but yeah.
Oh man. All right. Well, just real quick, we covered one a little bit, but tell us about your experience with the 2 slingshot races because you got to do on both surfaces.
The dirt was a lot more fun, and we had a blast.
Had a little malfunction with the ignition switch.
Yeah. Yep. I think I might have led a few laps at Marion at the Bull Ring one night. I think you won, and I ran 2nd or 3rd. I think. But they were fun. I think I Did I run it 3 times? I think once. Did I run it?
You ran Citrus once. I think Marion County one time.
I was thinking I'd ran it at Fruitland Park, but maybe I didn't.
No, I don't think so. I think it would have been cool. You might would have hated it there because the G forces there were just. I mean, your neck was about to fall off. Like it was pretty bad.
Yeah, no, they were fun little cars to run for sure.
Yeah, and LJ's commentary was grade A for sure up in the stands. Oh. All right. So, which of the open wheel cars is your favorite? Do you like the midgets? Would you like to get into them, or sprint cars or Silver Crown?
I don't know that I could fit in a midget.
You're a pretty big guy.
I feel like they fit bigger in smaller cars.
We're gonna be honest. I don't know that I could get a midget. I don't think my seat.
Hey, if they can stuff whole ball in a mini cup, I think we can fit you in a midget.
They got him in a mini cup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't let your dreams down, bud.
Pounds. I did run a D2 midget at the bull ring, a few years back. But like I said, that was a few pounds ago.
Oh.
But no, I mean the sprint cars have always been number one. But I definitely want to get back in a Silver Crown car. They are. I really want to run a Silver Crown car at a mile dirt.
Okay.
Something that's always been really cool to me. So that would be pretty cool. But definitely getting back in a Silver Crown car would be a lot of fun.
What kind of service do you like? You like a hard rubber down, or you like beating that cushion off?
Well,
Top shelf all day long.
I mean, I don't mind beating down the cushion, but a lot of times I end up stepping on some stuff and end up in the fence. Like I did a couple weeks ago at Circle City. The lane was around the fence, and we'd passed a few cars and thought we were going to be all right, and stuffed her in the fence and jumped a race car. So,
Right.
But I don't know. I guess I definitely don't want rubber down, unless I'm leading.
Right.
Then rubber down's all right. But no. I don't know. I think the slick tracks are a lot of fun, because then you have to drive them. I feel like, like a wing car around the curb, if that's the lane and it's just wide open around the curb,
Right.
the slicker it is. I mean, if it's slick and you can see, and it's not super dusty, then that'd be great.
Yeah, it's no fun driving based off the spoiler in front of you.
Yeah, definitely not. That same night, a couple weeks ago, when I busted my butt at Circle City, we ran the heat race in the daytime, and the dust was so bad in the heat race that I could not see the car in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
So it's. I mean, if it's slick and you can see, then yeah, let's do it. But if it's slick and super dusty, where you can't see the car in front of you, or even the fans can't even see the race cars, then I don't want to see that.
Yep.
So if you got to pick, wing or non-wing?
Non-wing.
Why?
I just more driver finesse, I feel like.
I just got these big old balls and I throw them out over my shoulder.
Basically.
and that's the thing, the wing cars like up here with the 410 wing cars, it's becoming more of a science to drive those cars because of the wing speed and different stuff, as far as getting in the corner, not being on the guy's bumper. You kind of want to be off of them, a little bit or whatever. But so that's becoming more driver. I feel like more driver finesse or whatever word you want to use. But yeah.
Do you have plans that you're going to run the little 500 again?
Absolutely. I want to run the little 500 until I can. We're working on a couple things to possibly run Lana next year at a little 500. So would like to run both of us, which I mean, I kind of have mixed feelings on that. I want to see him run it, but I also want to race with him and run it myself.
Yeah.
Oh, Zach will drive your car.
In the car for you. I can wire one up. You watch it while you're driving.
We'll let Zach
So-
pilot your car. How about that?
No. We'll be in the trailer. I'll be the
So
crew guy.
Shane-
I'll work on the crew, but I ain't driving.
So Shane, as a driver, getting ready for Loyal 500, the week up, 2 weeks up, what is the preparation on your hydration to run a long race like that?
Lots of water, lots of Pedialyte. You know, I've always, you know, obviously I'm not the smallest guy, but I usually do try to do something, you know, leading up to it, as far as, you know, maybe a different diet.
Going for a run.
Well, a few years ago, I got pretty serious on that, and I feel like that was some of the best shape I was in, and you know, I don't think I made it past lap 100. You know, you know, the last few years I've been so down that, you know, because it seems like something always goes wrong in that race, you know, and with the luck I've had there the last few years, it's, you know, you're preparing for it and you're hoping for the best, but it's always like, okay, well, what's going to happen to us this year? You know, it's always something out of our control. You know, I think only one time we've had something, you know, we stripped a wheel nut, you know, on the right front one year. You know, outside of that, it's either we lost brakes or it overheated or, you know, had driveline issues or motor problems. And that's one of those races where if you have a problem, that's where it's going to show up, you know. So you try to do everything you can, you know, but like, getting back to myself, you know, getting ready for it, I've been enthused to run the race, but it's like, man, I'm going to go to all this work, and which I probably should do it anyway because I'm too fat, but you know, but it's like, shit, why do I want to give up my Coca-Cola? Water, you know.
Yeah, I'm right there with you every day.
So
Which, and
my
if I
question,
remember, you had a pretty good run this year going, right?
We did. We had a really solid car, and I put myself behind.
I think it was that red hair of your brothers. Really brought the team together.
But you know, I kind of put myself behind the ball there at the beginning. I had a couple cars in front of me made a move, and I was kind of reacting to what they were doing, and got the car turned around and spun, and you know, there with counting cautions, if you spin out, you're going to go a minimum of 3 laps down with, you know, no questions asked. By the time they get you turned around and get you back going again. So at that point, it almost becomes, you know, if you don't have a lightning quick race car, it almost becomes a point where, okay, we're behind, we'll run as hard as we can, but as smart as we can, because we're not going to take any extra chance on putting ourselves in a bad situation, tearing the car up so we can't finish. So, and that's what we did this past year is, you know, we ran really good, stayed out of trouble. We still had really good pit stops. Our pit stops were better than some of the cars in the top 5, I feel like, you know. So I feel like if we could ever put the whole race together, I feel like we could have a top 5 run, because I feel like our pit stops every year, you know, are really,
It looks like they get better and better.
yeah. So our pit stops are really solid. You know, we don't really usually have new guys, you know, come to help. You know, so it's the same guys year after year. We have changed the last couple years. A couple guys couldn't, you know, make it. Life happens for them or whatever. But it's just a lot of hard work, and you know, I feel like if we could ever get things to go right on the racetrack, I think we'd have a top 5 car for sure.
So has LJ got any plans of running it, or is he more of a crew guy these days?
Well, he
sucks.
wasn't a crew. He wasn't a crew guy this year. Backed out. But he likes the little 500. You know, especially since he raced it, I think he'd like to run it again. You never know with him. He could have one ball tomorrow. You know, you just never can tell with him. So I'm sure if the right opportunity came about, he would definitely run it again. You know, you know, even this year, you know, I told him multiple times, you know, we had another car here, just the hard parts to the motors, So we've usually got two pavement cars sitting here. So obviously that's going to change next year with Landon. So unless we get something else worked out for him, so you just never can tell.
So we only have a couple questions left. I know you got some race cars to work on, so we'll run through these. What has happened in Florida with sprint car racing?
Man, I wish I had an answer. I wish somebody had an answer.
Are there crybabies up there like they are down here?
Honestly, yes.
Oh God.
So it don't change no matter where you go.
Not really. It might be a little more down there, but it's just I feel like there's so many variables down there. Whether I think some of it's money. It's not cheap. We all know that it doesn't. If it's racing, it's not cheap. I don't care if it's an RC car or a 410 sprint car. Nothing's cheap. Go-karts, nothing's cheap in racing, unfortunately, anymore. So a lot of factors. One, there's a lot of times there's no off season anymore because they race almost year round. I think some of it's egos between tracks, promoters. Same with the guys racing. They don't like this guy or they don't like that guy. They don't like the way he made that call. As far as the dirt or asphalt. One guy, well, he didn't make that call right. Well, nobody's going to make the right call 100% of the time. So that's just being pity. We all say we're not going back, but
you end up back there on a Wednesday night.
We always go back. So I've quit. I don't know how many times. Hell, I think I quit this past week, and here I am. So
I just remember talking to John Inman one night about why he got into the asphalt sprint cars, and he said that the money was so good in them that you almost made money every time you raced them. And now it seems like there's nobody left in that class.
Well, that's not the case anymore. When a right rear tire costs you $325, and it's $300 or $400 to start.
Yeah,
and we all know in a pavement car for sure, you're not going to win a race with buying just one tire. I'm sorry, it's not going to happen. I don't care if you're in a sprint car, a late model, a modified. It's not going to happen if you're in one of those. It's not going to happen on one tire. So you're looking at a $600 to $1,000 tire bill, and you could only go home with $400. If you win, you made a little bit of money, but only one guy's going to win. So there's a lot of factors down there for sure. I feel like it doesn't help that anymore when you bring the sprint cars in, they don't bring a lot of people in the grandstands. So therefore the promoters are down on the sprint cars. It's not like used to when we'd show up at a TBRA race and there'd be 25 cars, and the fans followed the sprint cars then. It's just not the case anymore. Feels like it's getting hotter down there, so want to go race, sweat their balls off. A lot of guys can't get help, so they don't want to go. I know of 2 or 3 guys in the last couple of years that quit because they didn't help. They were going to racetrack by themselves. In a sprint car, you can't go to the racetrack by yourself. One guy's not going to drive the 4-wheeler and the race car.
Yeah.
There's
cool to see though.
There's a lot of factors down there for sure.
What is and any other forms of racing, like race cars, you want to drive? Is it just sprint cars, or you want to jump into a street stock, a late model?
So, I've ran just about everything outside of probably a super modified or a wing 410 sprint car. So I mean, I've ran a late model. I own my own modified for a while. It just all comes back to the sprint car. I'd like to get in a super modified, try it, but there again, might not be able to fit in that either. As small as
So, what is the plans for Landon? What is his big plans?
his big plans, I really don't know. Obviously we want him to do, the best he can, and it comes back to funds. The sky's the limit, if the money's behind us. I feel like, I'm not saying it because he's mine, but what I've seen on the racetrack, he has a lot of potential.
He's definitely a natural badass.
Yeah, I feel that. Like I said, I'm not saying that because he's mine, but just the things you see on the racetrack, is you can kind of, as soon as they get out there, you can kind of see. That's like Colton. Colton's got a bright future ahead of him. He's already way above, past his age, in experience already. So and unfortunately, I'm not taking nothing away from Tony and that group. They're good people, but we haven't had the money. Like, I haven't wanted to quit racing, so I couldn't get Landon in a car sooner. You know what I mean? Because I was racing. So not having the funds to run two cars, I feel like it slowed him down some, but I feel like now we're gaining some traction, and he's doing a really nice job, and like I said, I look forward to seeing where he can take it. I feel like he's got a pretty good attitude. It's just all comes down to funds.
Yeah, it's especially when they're young, man. You got to really impact them, and like it's all about how you carry yourself. It's all about how you show your attitude. Listen, I don't care. You went out there and you destroyed the race car. Listen, you gotta still thank your sponsors. You gotta shake hands and you gotta smile. That's all that matters. Listen, when you get to the shop, Dad can rip you a new one. Okay.
And that thing, I try to tell Landon, if you get in a crash with somebody, or somebody throws a slider on you or something, don't look for don't look for an excuse. It's somebody else's fault. Don't try to blame something or somebody on what happened. It racing, you're gonna crash, you're gonna get run over, you're gonna run over somebody. It Not that anybody's doing it on purpose, it's just part of the sport. So I that's what I try to tell him is try to stay as positive as possible, don't show your ass, and talk to people, and be as down to earth as you can. Don't get cocky. If you go out and win the next 20 races, don't get cocky. Don't think you're the best thing that ever happened, because tomorrow you could bust your ass and go back down to ground zero.
Right.
Mm.
Well, go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say, Brandon over there's run second last couple races. He thinks he's the best thing to ever hit the racetrack. So
You're wrong, bud. I've been very pissed off at myself because I'm trying to think what I could have done better. And Zach over here is like, dude, great race. I'm like, I'm like,
hey man,
going back in the trailer all one. It's good for me.
hey, we didn't have to throw a wrench at nobody. It was a good night.
Yeah.
I had that problem Friday night, right? We went to Paragon, and I run the B main, and I'm running in the transfer spot, and obviously not in the right spot of the racetrack where I thought I'd, or not doing what I needed to do. And afterwards, I'm pissed off because we didn't make the show. And Landon's standing there, and he goes, he's serious, can I ask you a question? I'm like, yeah, go ahead. He goes, well, when those four guys went by you on the bottom, how come you didn't go to the bottom? I'm like, what's that easy?
I mean, in our defense, our last race that we did, we got second. I mean, if you'd have took out the ones that don't normally race every Volusia race, we would have won that,
Yeah.
in that order.
Exactly.
Because you had a lot of out-of-towners that came down, and, of course, they know their stuff better than we do.
Right. Yep.
So as a host show and all race car drivers, it's all about funds. You can't just buy used parts anymore and go win. Go ahead and
I believe they could do.
go ahead and give us some sponsors, man, that are behind you.
So always Troy Thompson, TTI Machine, which is a Florida guy. So if you ever need any machine work that he can help you out with, give him a call. Mike Boyd at Fatback, he's always helped me, and the two 410s we're running right now are all freshened up by him and stuff. So Landon's got a sponsor I want to throw out, Royal Hill Farms in Tennessee. If you ever got your camper and you want to go to Tennessee, nice little place. They got a little lake there on the property. Go see Royal Hill Farm. Let's see. Who took the body panels off?
Dang it, Landon, put it back on.
He's Cobb Auto Glass has been helping Landon out. We still have, as you can tell, we still have Florida connections that still help us out, as much as they can.
Hey, a sponsor's a sponsor.
Exactly. We appreciate everything. We've got some people up here that have helped both of us. Joe and Shelly with Parallax Motorsports have helped us quite a bit. Scott Bennick at Bennick Enterprise up here, he's helped us quite a bit. Who else? Man, I can't even find the body. Like,
dude, what do you do with it? I mean, the shop looks a little big.
He took the dirt body off this car here behind me to take it outside to wash it, and the pavement the other side of the shop. So, yeah, A&D Lawn Care down there in Leesburg, they helped us out for a little 500. Want to give them a shout out, and I'm sure I'm forgetting somebody. Saldana Race Products always helps us out, as much as they can. So just a lot of people. Landon's got a gentleman up here that does electrical work that's helped us out. Gabby Contracting, they've helped him out some. So always looking for help. If there's anybody out there that looking to help a young racer or an old fat guy, we got both ends covered as far as old and fat and young.
Wide variety.
Well, Shane, the Carl Podcast, man, would like to thank you for coming on, giving us your knowledge, man. You've been racing a lot, and hopefully we can get Land on here after he keeps busting your ass.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. For sure. We'll definitely keep you guys updated on what he's doing, and I definitely want to thank my wife, and my parents for everything they do for myself and Landon. So it takes a village to make this happen, especially with what we've done the last 2 years, making the move up here, 1,000 miles away from home. So it's been a big undertaking and a lot of help from a lot of people, and look forward to the future.
All right, brother. Thank you, man.
I appreciate you coming on. I remember the night that I won, you come over to congratulate me. You were fresh out of your own victory lane, and you looked more excited for me than you were for yourself, man. And it meant a lot to me. I appreciate it.
No, I like to see people that work hard win races. So good luck to you guys, and I'm sure we'll see you sometime the end of the year. I'm sure I'll get down there sometime. And like I said, definitely want to be down there for the Ream race. So we'll see what happens, and we'll definitely thanks for having us, and look forward to it again.
All right, brother. Thank you, sir. All right, guys. That was Shane Butler. Very good episode. He's a very knowledgeable guy about sprint cars. He's probably a natural badass. Huh?
It was a very long episode.
He's a natural badass in sprint car racing, guys. If you're new to sprint cars, I do recommend him. He will help you. He will put you in the right direction, and he'll try to help you win races. That's very cool, man. Got his first win. Congrats, man. And guys, let's do some sponsors, Josh.
Yeah, of course, got to thank Barstow Transportation, Multi-Roll, LaRoche Record Service, Fatback Racing Engines, Perman Auto Diesel Solutions, everybody that makes this thing possible. And we're looking forward to getting a new wrap made here soon. So if there's anybody that wants to jump on for the rest of the season, now's the perfect time to hit me up.
We coming with different colors, or we staying with the same?
Man, we're going to be the same.
Dude, you gotta switch it up. You gotta have that black body.
It's going to start black because it's going to be a stacked body, but then it's going to get wrapped over.
Well, guys, I got to thank RCP America, obviously Zach, my whole family, my wife, Finney's Racing Shocks, and Hendren for great motors, Hoosier for making a great tire that never fails, and
Right.
Don't.
When Shane said they had an open tire roll up there, I was like, "Oh, this sounds interesting. Let's hear more about this."
and I got All Gas Pros and ATC for them good bolts, man. He came on here, guys, hit him up,
Yeah, I just
and
hit him up this week for some body bolts.
I believe that's all I got, guys. Well,
Zach, you got
obviously,
anybody you want to thank?
Yeah, I got to thank Mountain Dew and Coca-Cola and Bush Light Peach. Got to have that peach.
so obviously, guys, he was our very first guest on this kind of format. I think it went fantastic. Let's see who we have next. Uh,
Don't we have some guy who thinks that he was a track champion or something? Well, he was. I mean, he don't think he was.
who do we have next? Is he got 28th?
Is
So
Yarborough
It's
next?
Austin.
So next we have Youngblood, Austin Yarborough. To me, he's the pretty goddamn goat in go-kart racing. We have him July 28th. Then after that, we have Mr. Austin Lehman, 602 Carl, got that VSP championship, 0 wins.
I forgot he was after Yarbrough. I thought it was before.
Definitely gonna be this was a great show. We're definitely gonna have some more great shows. Let's see. We said July 28th. So obviously that is the following week after this week. So we are probably gonna take 27th off. Probably. We're probably gonna have a lot of rain. And our next show will be with Austin Yarborough.
Sounds
Y'all
good,
good?
Tenful.
Y'all got anything before we close this thing out?
I think that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
Old Missing Carl's headed up to Why Not? That'd be interesting.
Well, guys, thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.